Alright, welcome boys and girls to the Shatter tutorial. This is probably my third attempt at doing this tutorial, so I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hard. So bear with me, let's rock and roll this together, and away we go. So first off, make sure that you've got the metal.jpg file in the folder that's been delivered along with this tutorial. Also make sure that you have a file called sequencer.jsx. That is a script file that we need to run later on. So having said that, let's just run into this and hope we don't make too many mistakes along the way. So composition, new composition, what we want to do is call this Shatter. Make sure that you're set at 1920 by 1080. You may need to turn this lock aspect ratio in order to get that 1080. Also make sure that your frame rate is 24. Your resolution is set to quarter. Don't worry, this means that we're going to be viewing it at a quarter of the resolution, but it's still going to render out nicely. When we view it at a quarter resolution, this means that we can work faster. And I imagine that most of you are working on school computers, so they don't have the best top-of-the-line video card. So set it to quarter resolution. Now for the duration here, you probably see something different than I do. You probably see it's set in 00, semicolon, or colon, 00, colon, blah, 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 blah. Set that basically to 8 seconds. I'm going to show you how to change this into a frame rate counter in just one moment. Press OK. Now here, where the time based is, hold down Control and click. There. Now we are working in a frame-based environment. That's what we want to work for in this tutorial, is frames, not time. Also, keep in mind that this is the toggle transparency grid. Basically, it allows us to see what is transparent, and this means that everything that is checkerboard is transparent. It's still black, but yeah, it's transparent. Okay, so let us get started. First thing we do is choose your type tool and let's make a title. And I know you guys might be tired of it by now. Let's choose zombie cows. And we're gonna shatter this. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to double click on the layer. That should highlight this in red. You shouldn't be in the layer window, you should be in the composition window. So this will allow us to change the color. I'll make mine a little bit of a light blue at value 4TB67. Press OK. And it also allows us to change the font. Now I have Free Agent font installed on my computer. You may not, so you might not be able to choose this font. But this will allow you to choose a variety of whatever is installed on those school computers. We can also choose to scale this up now if we so wish. I'll do it right about there. I'll choose my selection tool and I'll move this over ever so slightly just to center it. Alright, I'm feeling good, rocking and rolling. Next thing I want to do is choose that metal JPEG layer. And what you want to do is click on this and drag it to the bottom of the layer. Alright, so what we've done is we've put this at the bottom of the layer, but we need to toggle the switches and modes on. Make sure that you see this button. If you don't see this button, then you probably have your After Effects window minimized, so make sure that it's maximized or drag it up so that you can see this toggle of switches and modes. So I'm going to select that, 3, 2, 1, click. Boop. And now I can see this TRK MAT or track matte. Change it from none to alpha matte. 3, 2, 1, click. Alpha matte. Alright, now as you can see, I move the metal.jpg layer, and it allows us to properly have a alpha matte for this metal layer stuff going on. So what we want to do now is, with the metal layer selected, go to Effect, Color Correction, Curves. And with this curves, we want to make a very big S-curve. S-curve is this S that you see in the curve. So the S basically crunches down the darks and makes the brights brighter. And I want this nice and crunchy, right there. Alright, that's in the RGB channel. See? Channel, RGB. Now go into your red channel and slightly take down the reds a little bit out of the... There we go. That takes the reds out of the midtones. Next thing you want to do is go into the blue channel and click in the middle layer and push the blues. Not too much, just a slight little... There. Alright. Feeling magical. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to duplicate the zombie cow's text layer. I call it a text layer because there's a T there. We hold down Control or Command on a Mac and press D to duplicate the layer. Now that it's duplicated, go to your Effects and Presets panel. And if you don't see this, you have to go to Window, Effects and Presets panel, make sure it's tagged on. And in the Effects and Presets panel search region, type in BEVEL, and you should see Bevel Alpha. Take the Bevel Alpha and put it onto the layer. Okay, so now turn the light angle to 0. Turn the light intensity to 0.64 and change the blend mode to add. Okay, excellent. Now, duplicate it again. We're going to turn these on, by the way. Duplicate it again. Oh, sorry, to turn it on, you need to have these selected. Duplicate it again, there we go. So now I have Zombie Cows layer 3. And this time, turn the edge thickness to 1. Turn the light angle to 206, 0 by 206, and the light intensity to 0.35. All right. Now, this is how it's looking. It's got some nice beveled edges. I'll put this up to a full, it's full view. All right, so it's got some beveled edges. They might be more pronounced depending on what kind of font you used. I guess my my free agent font didn't like this one too much for beveled edges. Also, our color is pretty darn bright on this, so I might just take this brightness down a touch now. So I'll double click on Zombie Cows, or sorry, Zombie Cows 2, and I'll take this down just a touch. 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 There we go. Touch. Alright, cool. And I'll double click on the top layer, and I'll take this down just a touch. Touch. Touch, 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 touch. Well, oops. No, that's right. Alright, so it's just not as bright, not as powerful. Okay. So, now that we have the Bevel Alpha effect on, we've got that all happening. Highlight all the layers and pre-compose. Right-click, pre-compose. Select Move All Attributes and call it Text Title and press OK. Okay, on the pre-comp layer, go to your Effects and Presets panel and type in CC Pixel Poly. Type the Pixel Poly and put it onto the text title. Now, stay with me. This is going to get funky. So, here we go. Under the gravity, change the gravity to negative 0.43. Change the spinning to 2. Change the force to negative 49. Change the direction randomness to 36. Speed randomness to 87. Grid spacing to, let's go with 16. All right, so I'm going to change this to third resolution so it plays back faster. And I press the space bar in this, I click on the timeline, press space bar, and boom shakalaka. Yeah, so think about it. Already we got some cool stuff. If we rendered this off right now with an alpha channel, so it'll be clear, you can put it on even video with that alpha channel. And if we time reversed it in Avid or Premiere, it could form out of particles. And remember, if you don't like the way the particles are heading, you can just change this. You can just change the gravity to come down or whatever. You could change the force so it's more impactful, blows apart faster, or the spinning, depending on how these particles spin. You get the idea. There are all sorts of different things that you can do to make these things work. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. So just bear that in mind. If you don't want to go to the crazy part, this should be quite enough for you to have a pretty cool animation. All right, now we're gonna get into some expressions. So, I want you to hold down Alt and click on the force stopwatch. 3, 2, 1, click. Now, first thing we want to do is type in WIGGLE beginning parentheses 0, 25 end parentheses. Now guys, you gotta type this out correctly. This is important. a computer doesn't understand if you have a space in there, or it doesn't if it has brackets instead of parentheses. If you're wondering where the parentheses are, look at the 9 and the 0 key. So that's, if you hold down shift and hit the 9, or hold down shift and hit the 0, that's your beginning and your end parentheses. Okay, so now that we have the wiggle 0 to 5, hold down Control, press A, see how it's highlighted there? So we've highlighted the expression, hold down Control, press C, we've just done a copy. We're going to paste this later on. So what we need now is we need to click away. If you press enter, it's just going to create a new line on this expression. So click over here somewhere in this gray ether zone. 3, 2, 1, click. All right, now the wiggle expression has been entered. So now we had that to the force. Now we want to add that to the speed randomness. Speed randomness, hold down Alt and click. And then press Control or Command on a Mac, V. Wiggle 0 to 5 and click away. Good. Now direction randomness, hold down Alt, click on the stopwatch, Control V to paste again, but this time, don't click away. Change the 2 to a 1 to make it wiggle 0, 15. Click away. We have to do this also for grid spacing. Hold down Alt and click. Control V and change 25 to 7. Now click on the gray ether zone. All right, so let's take a look at it now. Yeah, everything's got a little bit more dynamic punch to it. All right, good job, everybody. Way to stick with me. Let's toggle up the menu options and let's do a file save, because if you got to this point, you're a badass. So now, what we want to do is we have to toggle the switches and modes. Okay, we want to turn off the effects. Basically, I've got to do a whole bunch of work that affects later on in the timeline, and I can't be drawing masks when the whole thing has been blown apart. So turn off this effect switch that I'm circling. 3, 2, 1, click. Again, if you don't see that, it's the toggle switches and modes button. This is a switch. So see how that effect, when it's on, it's destroying the title. I turn it off, bloop, our title's right there. For now, turn it off. Next thing we want to do is use a rectangular mask tool and draw it so we just cover the top of the title. Rectangular mask tool is located here. If I hold, click, I hold, and my computer's frozen. I hold, there we go, rectangle tool. If you don't see it, choose your rectangle tool, zoom in, and we want to cover just the top of this. So 3, 2, 1, I click, I drag over, and I almost release. Okay. So I've just drawn the top of that title. We want to animate this mask path from frame 0 to frame 11. And at frame 11, we should see the full text. So there are a variety of different ways to do this. But first thing we got to do is toggle down mask 1 so we see this mask path. In order to animate, we have to click on the stopwatch. 3, 2, 1, click. Now we've made a keyframe. All right, good. Now if I start trying to move this, what's going to happen? Take a look. Uh-oh, created another mask. You don't want to have another mask. Control Z to undo. Instead, choose your selection tool. All right, so now that we've got that selection tool, we need to animate this mask so that it moves down. So we've got that selection tool enabled. Double click on the mask. All right, you should see this white bounding box. Now, hold down Shift, press the page down button. That'll jump us 10 frames. Press the page down button again. And that takes me to frame 11. Excellent. Oops. Now, double click on that mask. Move the first one. Oops, not that. I don't need the crosshairs. That first one down. Middle mouse wheel to zoom in. And the second one down, just so I see a little bit of it. All right, and now that's created 1 keyframe, 2 keyframes. So what we should see is an animation of this mask coming from the top to the bottom. All right, so this is looking a lot better. So what we've got to do now is we've got to duplicate all of this. So first off, let's toggle up all of this messiness. Let's go to frame 0. Now, hold down Control and press D, 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 for a total of 12 copies. All right, now this one is essential. This is whenever you run scripts, especially this script, it matters the order of operations, which means the order in which you click. So first thing we want to do is we want to highlight the top layer, then highlight the bottom layer by holding down Shift and click. So After Effects thinks that we've done click, 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 click from 1 to 12. Okay? Again, it matters. So highlight the layers from top to bottom, then run the script, which is File, Scripts, Run Script File, and navigate to wherever that the sequencer.jsx file is for you. For me, I've already got it installed on my scripts file, so it's already in my, there it is, sequencer.jsx, and I run it. It asks me how many frames to offset. Leave it at 1, press OK. Okay, so now it's offset all of these by 1 frame. So now let's move to frame 11. Hold down Shift, press page down again. Now we're at frame 11. So turn off the stopwatch for all animated masks, which means press M, and you see the stopwatch for all those masks. Now watch this. Before you do it, I click and hold on the first stopwatch, and I just keep pushing down until they're all deselected. So now I've deselected all of those masks. This will basically leave your layers representing each slice of the title, or put another way, we cut up the title into 12 small pieces. So now let's turn the effects switch back on. Same method. Watch before you do it. I click and hold and drag it down, and then boom. That's right. Now we have from top to bottom, but it's animating the wrong way is the problem. So we've got to run that sequencer script again. But first, before we do, let's press U to collapse all of the titles. Now click away because it matters order of operations. So now this time we want to choose the bottom layer, hold down Shift and click on the top layer. Now run the script again. File, Script, Run Script File, sequencer.jsx. And for me, I've got it here. Run it again, press OK, and boom shakalaka. Now, that's better. But what's missing? That's right, our title. We don't see our title, so we've got to create it. So, pay attention. I click on the bottom layer, I press Command D. It's duplicated layer, but put it underneath. So I click on the bottom layer again. Now, what I want to do is turn this layer red so that I know that it's different from the others, okay? Now I also want to turn off the effects switch right here. So click. Now what this does is that it won't have the effects happening. It's basically like turning the power button off for all the effects. So the last thing is press M, not the last thing, and then toggle down the mask 1 property so we can see keyframes. So right now we have this mask 1 happening, and it's not doing anything. So what we want is to have it being fully visible at frame 0. So this is frame 0. I click on mask path, I double click on here, and I want to get that move, have it fully visible, and then I want it gone at frame 11. So press Shift, hold down Shift, and press page down, and then page down again to get to frame 11, and click on the topmost part, double click, and drag that down. All right, let's move this to a 1/4 resolution. Press the home key. Now, let's also turn off the mask path visibility. So let's just watch it. 3, 2, 1. Boom shakalaka! All right, congratulations. You are now an official badass. So you can see how this is very useful, right? Now that it's not just a normal kind of shatter. We've controlled this, and through masking, it shatters the way we want it to shatter. So, all right. So now that we've done this, being good students and good motion graphic workers, just being good in general, do a file save, please. Don't make me nervous. Okay, we want to build some detail. Now, this is going to get a little funky. highlight all of the layers, not the red one. Okay, actually let's bring up those masks there. So everything's clean. Now duplicate it. Control D. Now these duplicated ones, you just click on one and move it. You see that black line there? Move it to the very top. I said, move it to the very top. There we go. Okay, so now that we've moved it to the top, I want you to label these ones yellow. All right. Okay, so now we've got to basically reorient these. So hold down the Alt key and press the Home button. There, everything's stacked and nicely aligned for those yellow layers. So select one yellow layer and solo the layer. Okay. Come on, computer. Oh, I've got to deselect and then there. Okay, got one layer. We're going to build a blurring effect, then we're going to copy and paste this onto other stuff. So first thing I want to do is go into Effect, Blur and Sharpen, Fast Blur. Now, I'm going on an old copy of Adobe CC. Mine's 2014. You probably have CC Fast Box Blur. Go with that. So we want to set the blur dimensions to vertical. Also, repeat the edge pixels by clicking here. Click. Okay, at frame 0, set a blurriness keyframe for 0. Boom. Okay, if you want to see it, highlight the layer, press U. There's the keyframe. All right. Now, move to frame 16. Hold down Shift, page down, takes us 10 frames. Page down, page down, page down, page down, page down. Frame 16. All right, set the blurriness keyframe to 100. All right, so basically I'm going to blur these. Almost said a bad word. I'm going to blur these ones out. So also highlight that first keyframe and press F9. So I was going to say F9 and it turned off my recording, unfortunately. So F9 and you can create this Easy Ease keyframe, or you can go to Keyframe Assistant and choose Easy Ease where it says F9. Anyway, yeah, so basically think of Easy Ease is like a car slowing down or a car taking off at a stoplight, where it goes from 0 to 60 gradually. That's what this is doing. It doesn't just happen in a linear fashion. So that's what Easy Ease does. All right, now that we've created the effect, we want to copy and paste this onto the other yellow layers. So highlight. You want to highlight this fast blur effect. Command or Control C. Hold down Control and press C. Now you highlight the next layer and hold down Shift and then click on the 12th or the last yellow layer and then hold down Control and press V. Now, if you check, they all have the fast blur effect applied. Okay, cool. So that is looking much better. Whew. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to highlight all the layers from the bottom to the top and run that sequencer script again. So highlight the bottom layer. I'll click this up to make it look neat. And hold down Shift, click on the top yellow layer, File, Scripts, Sequencer, press OK. All right, everything's now back in line with the original. So set the layers, and I already did this because I had to come back, and make sure that they are all set to a blend mode of add. Again, if you don't see the mode, toggle switches, make sure you put them all to add. And if that's too bright for you, having them all selected and pressing T, you can actually change this effect to how you want it to. Now I like it at 100%, so I'm going to leave it like that, but that's an option for you. So press U, and press U, and now everything is nice and compact. But now we've got to add some glow. So next thing we want to do is go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer. And under Adjustment Layer, put the adjustment layer to the very, very top if it isn't there already. And let's also go to Layer, New, Solid, and call this BG, and press OK. Now, here's the thing. This BG is one solid black layer. So let's take it and put it to the bottom. I already had one because I was already recording. Make sure you have one bottom BG layer. Now, here's the thing. If we turn on the transparency grid, look, there's nothing transparent. This is always going to be against a black background. However, if I turn off this layer, now we have transparency again. So it's really, the question is, do you want to place this over a video layer, over something else, or are you comfortable having it on a black background? I am for this tutorial's sake, but that is something you might want to think about for your own title. Okay, so now that we've done that, let us highlight the top adjustment layer, go to Effect, Stylize, Glow. All right, here we go, boys and girls. Effect, Stylize, Glow. Set the glow dimensions to vertical. Set the glow colors to A and B colors. Now, set the A color and let's put it to, oh, I don't know, 67CSF1, just shot in the dark, totally lying. Set the B color to, oh, I don't know, 154DBE, totally made it up in my head, totally lying, press OK. Put the glow radius from 10 to 9 and the glow intensity to 3.1. Now we've done, I want you to highlight that glow effect layer. So highlight this, hold down Control and press D to duplicate that effect. So now that we've duplicated it, turn the radius up to 67. And we want to animate this glow intensity from 1 to 4 at frames 11 to 32. So I'll go to frame 11, and I will put my glow intensity at a value of 1. And here's the important part. Click on the stopwatch. Click. And at frame 32, so let's go to frame 32 by holding down Shift, press page down once, twice, and then release Shift and press page down again. Frame 32. Doesn't matter, just as long as you get there. And put the glow intensity from 1 to 4. Booyah! Okay, now that we got that done, we want to duplicate it again. Highlight this glow 2 layer, Control D to duplicate it again. This time turn off the animation and set the glow dimensions to horizontal and vertical. Set the glow radius to 93. And let's put the color A to, oh, I don't know. Let's put it to 2E88863. Now let's put it there. All right. Oh, that is looking nice. Okay, so now that that's working okay, let's go back to our main comp and let's check this out. Oh, I forgot. I'll show you how to do this in a second. So here we have our zombie cows. Boom! Nice and shattered. And if we reverse that, it would be like this. Okay, so again, you don't have to have all these glows, by the way. You can take them off, or you can, turn up the glow threshold so that it's not so glowy. It's really personal satisfaction, personal taste and preference. Okay, so the last little bit I'll show you here is what if we want this to maybe have some camera shake around here. Okay, so what we do is, oh, I can't show you because my computer will go nuts. Control-Shift-D should duplicate and kind of split the layer in two. In this case, what I'll do is I'll duplicate the layer, and I'll bring over this working area, hold down Shift and it snaps, and I'll hold down this working area, hold down Shift and it snaps. I'm using Camtasia. If I hold down Control-Shift-D, it stops the recording or something like that. Anyway, the top layer, I press P, hold down Alt, and I click on the stopwatch. Boom. Type in wiggle, beginning parentheses, 10, 15, end parentheses, click on the ether. Boom. So now I have I got myself a nice camera shake. All right, so because I'm a nice teacher, I'm going to show you how to render this off, but you should learn this. Highlight all the layers, go to Composition, Add to Render Queue, click on the word Lossless, choose the format, which is probably QuickTime Make it animation. Animation allows us to embed an alpha channel if we so choose. It's also a nice high quality format. You could also choose to go ProRes H or ProRes 422 HQ. And if you chose an alpha channel with that transparent background and didn't use the black BG background, choose RGB plus alpha. If you did have that black background, choose just RGB. Press OK. Click on this word. Decide where you want to put it and name it here. Press save. And then finally, do the render. All right, this has been Ryan Adamoyo teaching you how to shatter. Hope you guys have enjoyed. It's a tough tutorial. Give a pat on the back if you got this far. Best of luck with everything and end recording.